Yo, what is up? So, back for another training video. Today is going to be going over my full arm and shoulder day. In my 2 years of like bodybuilding, like doing bodybuilding training, doing the whole process or whatever, I've never had a dedicated arm day. But it's 3 bicep, 3 tricep, and then 1 delt exercise. But the delt exercise is a superset, and then it's 5 sets each. So then what is that? 15 sets of biceps and triceps, and they're all pump sets, which is just every rep is like a squeezy rep. And I won't go into detail right now, but I'll go into detail more when I get inside. My arm and shoulder day, because my arms are actually one body part that isn't like absolutely fucking atrocious. I actually have pretty good genetically good arms. So I'm gonna give you guys a few tips that I use on a few of my exercises that have helped me grow my arms to a okay size for now. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks along the way, and I will see you guys inside. I'll throw up the session on the screen right here, and I'll go over a couple notes with each and before I get into it. So we have 5 sets of cable curls, 5 sets of dumbbell preacher curls, 5 sets of incline cable curls or incline dumbbell curls, and then that'll be all for biceps. And then for triceps, off the top of my head, I think it's 5 sets, single arm extension, 5 sets of close grip like JM press or skull crusher or JM press on the Smith machine, and then 5 sets of, I believe, overhead tricep extension. I think that's right. And then it'll be 7 sets of laterals to finish, or dumbbell laterals supersetted with cable laterals, like the cable crucifix that you see me do in the past. And that one's tough. 7 sets is, seems ridiculous, but it's just laterals. So and it's just curls. So you would think, like, typically the programs that I write, everything is going to be like for main movements for something like a Smith incline press or like a chest fly or a T-bar row or etc. One of those movements, it would be 2 to 3 sets, never 5 sets. But since curls and laterals are so like untaxing to the body, you could hammer and hammer and hammer. And that's like one thing that I have always honed in on with my arm training, and I guess delt training to an extent. But since I'm talking about arms, because that's kind of like what one of my strengths are, like one of my better body parts, is I've always been a fan of like higher volume and higher reps for arms, and really focusing on execution and form. I'm sure I've mentioned like before, like I would never see the point in doing like a double arm cable curl for like 8 reps or 10 reps. That doesn't make sense to me. So like my main philosophy with like arm training is just like get really good at your execution and keep it like 15, keep it in the 15 rep range-ish, like 12 and up rep range. And that's been my go-tos for arms. But I'm gonna quit yip-yapping and get into the session and get this fucking SARM pump flowing. Cable curls, I do like using a straight bar for these. I don't like using an easy bar. I know some people use an easy bar because it may be better on their wrists or whatever, but I just like a straight bar because actually an easy bar hurts my wrist. For some people, it's like the opposite. But I know I use like progressive overload principles for like all of my other sessions, but with arms specifically, I don't think that being very like adamant about progressing every single week on like weight and reps with like curls or anything to do with your arms really like makes that much sense, because it's like just arms. I think worrying more about like execution and more of like, I'm not gonna say pump work, but like mainly that for like arms, stuff like that, I think is a lot better than trying to do like doing like 90 pounds for like 6 reps. I just don't think that makes sense. So you don't want to be curling 30 pounds now and then 30 pounds in 2 years. But I think the main thing with growing arms is just worrying about like execution and tempo. That's like, it's the one body part that I think you can kind of throw out the progressive overload thinking around your training is with arms. But some cues that I'll do like with these, I think I've gone over cable curls on this channel, like fucking 4 or 5 times. But like some good cues I'm always telling myself is really with any arm movement, really the only thing that is going to be moving like is your forearm, like your elbow in all arm movements and or in all curl movements and all push down variations, even in like the Smith press to a certain extent. Your elbow should kind of just be set in place the whole time. And the only thing moving should be like your forearm. You should be flexing the elbow or extending the elbow, and that's it. That's all that's moving. Not your core, not your body, and you're not jumping to get the weight up. It's just straight. It's kind of like the same thing I kind of said on with the seated hamstring curls, like how some guys will like double balance at the top of their reps. It's because they're using momentum. So like this with cable curls, some things I like to tell myself, take a good step back. You don't want to stand right above the weight stack because you're not giving yourself a good stretch at the end. So kind of take a step back, kind of lock your elbows in position. Make sure your shoulders are kind of relaxed the whole time, because a lot of guys will tense up here the whole time and they're not getting enough, and they're not getting the full benefit of a good like cable curl like this. Relax your shoulders and go. The only thing that should be moving is your forearms. Your elbows should just be locked in position. I kind of briefly mentioned what pump sets are earlier. What it is, like the whole time, the main thing I'm worried about is just squeezing the top of each rep. And then once I'm finished with the set, I'll look at my little Garmin watch and see, like right now it says 18 seconds until the minute. I'll count out 40 seconds and then I'll go again. So it's just like set, 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 and just keep going like that. So. Pump cover doesn't last long. So it was supposed to be dumbbell preachers, but someone using the preacher thing right now. Oh, I guess I could just use this if I wanted to do dumbbells. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna test this out. Wait, this kind of fucks. Never mind. Dumbbell preachers will stay in rotation. Working on is making sure that my armpit is like stuck, like really like kind of like think about like on a T-bar, you want your chest to be glued to the pad. Same thing with my armpit, so I can use the pad with my elbow to drive my elbows against the pad and keep my elbows locked and tight the whole time to do the rep. You know, you don't want to have the pad here and then be like way up here. You're not really utilizing it to the best of its abilities or whatever. So I'll run 5 sets here with just like the same thing I did over there. Maintain 20 pounds or 25 pounds for the whole set, and then I get into it, I'm like, I'm literally about to do 15 pounds. This is ridiculous, but the end of those fucking pump sets are crazy. So moving on to some dumbbell incline curls. When I first started training, these and spider curls. So like when you flip around on the bench and put your chest on this side and you curl like this. I don't know why I got really into that. I think that like Jeff Dipper did a lot of those, or like Lex Little. One of the first guys I watched did a lot of these, but something I try and tell myself here is like keep my shoulders pinned back for the whole set. And then instead of curling, like what I found that works for me, I don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it, but this is what I feel the best. Instead of trying to like curl, like up, back in like a straight forward motion, I try and think about like curling, like to like I don't know how to explain this. Like instead of curling like forward, like back and forth, you gotta go like out to the side and curl like that. So like you're, instead of curling like this, you're kind of curling like to the side. I've felt my biceps a lot more doing that. I don't know what the scientific biomechanical term is for that, but I just felt more like that. So. I can't get fucking 12, oh my gosh. Oh my god. Yeah, bro. I cannot believe how weak I end up becoming on those incline curls. It's actually embarrassing. The same thing applies like I said, with basically all arm workouts, is your main priority the whole time should just be to keep the elbow locked in the position that you keep it locked in position the whole time, and then just move the forearm. The forearm is the only thing that moves in your body. So right here, and glue your elbow to the side. The only thing that should move is the forearm. Squeeze. I really like initiating a good pause in the bottom here. Come all the way up. Punch yourself in the face pretty much. Squeeze. And squeeze. And then we'll do 5 sets here, 15 to 20 reps like I did the last few. Another good point I want to make with these pushdowns is something I always fall victim to, is keeping my shoulder like really tensed up and elevated. And when you do that the whole time, you're basically like working your fucking like traps at that point and your upper shoulder. So whenever you, it's kind of like with the cable curls, like kind of how I said, relax your shoulders. Like once you get into position, don't be so tensed up here. Like relax the shoulder, lock the elbow in, drop the shoulder, and then just like this. Don't be all tense. Don't be all tense up here and trying to do like this. You won't feel it in your tricep near as much if you stay tense in your whole neck trap region like that. I don't know why I like doing those extensions with like a wrist cuff, is that if you do like if you get like a D handle or like a normal handle and try and do pushdowns like that, it's fine if you don't have like the wrist thing. But if you do, you're gonna have to worry about gripping at the same time. And when you do with the wrist thing, all you have to worry about is moving your elbow. You don't have to worry about gripping. You're not gonna worry about dropping nothing. You can just fucking pump the triceps out. But now we're gonna move on to JM press. I'm not really too much of a fan of these, but I do like having some sort of like tricep like density builder within an arm day. So that's like what you could use for like a density builder, like a JM press, a heavy skull crusher, or you could do like if you have a dip machine, you could buy the triceps on a dip machine like that. But Tom has JM press programmed in right here, and you know I like kind of going lighter on these because honestly, with all my pressing, I'm pretty weak. So even if I wanted to go heavy, I couldn't, and if I did, I let my form slip. But I really do like going like moderate weight with these and really focusing on like form and really. I've gone back and forth on how I like doing these before. With Justin, when we did like the guillotine press or whatever, he would have me kind of like have my elbows go out to the side and push up like that. Or I've been kind of trialing with kind of keeping my elbows tucked and kind of pressing like that. Either way is going to work the triceps really good. So I'm going to kind of try and go back and forth with these, and then I'll go from there. Yeah, that's why I said. It wasn't really helpful today, so we both just I'm gonna do one more drop set, and then yeah, What is up? So just wanted to take one quick second away from the video and bring about a few things to your attention. 80% of you guys that are watching the videos are not subscribed. So if you can do one thing, one little favor for Mad Dog for me, if you could hit that subscribe button, it would mean more to me than you guys understand. Next thing I wanted to bring up are my sponsors. So this channel is not sponsored by YouTube or anything, so I do not make money from any of these videos. And one other way that you guys can support me is by using my code with Nutrix Research Supplements and with BioMist Peptide Company. Nutrix, I've used their protein for about 2 years now. Get this big, humongous, mumbo jumbo tumbo tub of protein. It'll last you a long time. They have such good flavors. I've used it in my pre-workout meal for like I said, 2 years now. They got good EAA products. They got some more new stuff coming out as well. So if you guys would like to support the channel, support me on my journey in whatever that is, use code MADX on Nutrix Supplements. That will get you 15% off. And use code MADDOX, my name, MADDOX, on Biomist Labs, peptides, and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to support me, support the channel, support my journey, and all that kind of stuff, use my codes on these companies. But with all that being said, let's get back to the video. Those JM presses are kind of odd. I may ask if I can switch out those for like the dip machine over there. I like doing those for my triceps a lot more. I connect to them a lot better. Even though that dip machine is kind of rough because when you get too heavy, it's like you're having to balance like keeping the weight down versus actually doing the reps because we don't have like an actual dip machine here. But I don't know, whatever. But this will be our last tricep extension or last tricep exercise. I kind of went over doing this setup on my Instagram, but I really like this if you don't have some kind of good overhead machine that may stop you in the stretch position. If you have two cables that set up like this, you can set up a really gnarly overhead tricep extension. And like with this, you have a pad, so you're braced, so you can't cheat the reps. And you have, when you set the cable down that low, you can get like a nasty stretch in the bottom and then extend out. And it's really nice because like some tricep machines, you get like, halfway down and then like the safety catches you. But with this, you can just completely stretch all the way back and extend. But really, the same thing applies here for all the other movements. Once you get locked in position, keep your elbows set, and then just extend the elbow. Extend the elbow. That's the only thing that should move is your forearm. So just keep the elbows stuck in position, and go. Be on a quest to find my phone because that shit is gone. But so done with all our arm work. Now moving on to delts, which is usually 7 sets of dumbbell lateral with superset with cable lateral, like the cable crucifix that y'all seen me do in the past. But I can't find the other wrist cuff that I brought here. This is why I tell myself to never leave my shit here. But you know, shit happens. Now it's gone, but whatever. But so I'll just do dumbbell lateral superset with like a single arm cable lateral, and then call it a day. And then actually my coach programmed in HIIT cardio after my sessions now to push the deficit, keep pushing the deficit down. I'm down to like 192 now, and he just a little bit of insight on kind of my process of what everything I'm doing right now, plans are, etc. Is he wants to get me to like an 8 to 10 week outlook. I'll even throw up a picture of what I look like, which I'm not going to be that same weight that I was 8 to 10 weeks on my last show because I've gotten on a few things since then. So I'll probably be like, I don't know, I would assume like 180, 175, somewhere around there when I get to that position, so I can rebound out of that and go into another growth phase. But looking to get like an 8 to 10 week out mark look, and then go back into a growth phase. But I don't want to talk too much into that. I'm just going to get into these because I have fucking 7 sets of these to do, and then my HIIT cardio, and then I'll be able to go home. I actually have a call at 5:30, which I'm probably not going to make, but we'll see. Alrighty. 7 supersets, I guess 14 sets of laterals later, 15 sets of biceps, 15 sets of triceps later, and we are done. Wrapped up the session with those laterals, which after 7 sets, dude, I'm like actually cooked. And I still can't believe that, like, of all my sessions, legs, I was done at like 5 o'clock a few days ago. It's already almost 5:30, and I'm just getting done, which, I mean, I guess it's 30 sets of arms, combined biceps and triceps, and then I guess if you, since I did single arm cable lateral raise instead of double arm, it'd be like 21 sets of delts if you combine the two. So lots of work, lots of volume, which with smaller body parts like delts, arms, calves, anything like that, I think they could take a lot bigger volume dump because they're more like, I believe it's type 2 fibers. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. It's a different fiber that does better with higher reps instead of something like legs that can maybe, or maybe not legs is a good example, something like back is better with like that 6 to 10 rep range. So if you take anything from this video, 2 big things with arm movements. Basically every arm movement that you're going to do, the main cues is going to be to keep your elbow locked and just move the forearm. All that curls are is bicep flexion. All that extensions are, and overhead extensions, and even J press to a certain extent, is just elbow extension. That's literally all it is. That's all it is. With delts, I didn't give too many tips, but one thing I've been working on is keeping the force being the dumbbell in my hand, the weight, further away from the target muscle, aka the delt. So I don't really want to, claim that I'm like some kind of fucking biomechanic nerd, but I did take Joe Bennett's biomechanics like mastery class, and one thing that I keep resurfacing and I'm trying to work on now is with a lateral, for example, the longer that you can create this thing called a moment arm, which is the distance from the force to the target muscle, the more work that will be put on the target muscle. So that's kind of the concept you can use when you see people do like a sissy squat with really like how Tom Platz did it. That's basically just creating a bigger moment arm to put more tension on the target muscle. So that's something I've been trying to work on with both my lateral raises, is trying to keep the weight, whatever you want to put it, further away from the delt so I can get more work on it. So that's something you guys can take away as well, because a lot of guys struggle with feeling their delts on lateral raises because they go too heavy, they start cheating, and they start using their traps, whatever. And this is something I've been working on. I just use 20 pounds on my dumbbell laterals now, and it's like my delts are fired up. And even like I'm sure y'all seen on my single hand, I'm using like fucking 25 pounds and whatever. So, but yeah, so that's gonna put a wrap on the video. I'm not gonna do no like truck talk or whatever. I just wanted to get in here, get another session filmed up. I'll probably film my push session Thursday as well. I'm gonna do a few days of digging on my diet, so I should be like below 190 here in a couple of days. But I'm gonna do my first session of HIIT cardio that coach has programmed for me. So I've never done like specific HIIT cardio, so I think I'm gonna do it on the rower over there. And if you're still watching, God bless you so much for staying to the end of the video and watching the whole thing of me just arm blasting and shoulder blasting. And then yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. If you have any questions, want to reach out for coaching, links will be in the bio. I'll see you guys next time.